One thing that I have found with so many people that I've been talking to, that we get to a point in our lives and changes that we are trying to make where you come in and you're excited, you're ready. Maybe you're frustrated at a situation originally, but you're excited that you finally have the energy, the courage to start working towards making some change. And you get a little bit of momentum, you start making changes, doing the work. Things start to move, right? But then you let doubt start to creep in. Happy Wednesday, y'all. I am Mel Morris, your tarot life planner, helping you connect within to plan the life that you are meant for. And today, I really want to focus on what's been going on this year, right? So this year it went by super fast. It seemed like it took forever to get moving, and then all of a sudden it just started happening. Now we're in December, and it's like, what the frick happened to this entire year? But one thing that I have found with so many people that I've been talking to and who've been asking for, advice, and I just had this conversation with someone really close to me yesterday, that we get to a point in our lives and changes that we are trying to make where you come in and you're excited, right? You're ready. Maybe you're frustrated at a situation originally, but you're excited that you finally have the energy, the courage to start working towards making some change, right? And you get a little bit of momentum, you start again making changes, you start doing the work, if you will, right? And things start to move, right? You see the transition, you see the changes that you're starting to make, but then you let doubt start to creep in, right? You start getting these ideas, these thoughts that, like, oh shit, maybe this wasn't the right thing. This isn't happening fast enough. Maybe things were supposed to be different. Who am I fooling? Maybe this really is not the path I'm supposed to be on. There's a whole plethora of things that can come up for you. And in that space is where you really need to decide who you are and how you want to show up in the world, right? So in that space of momentum and movement, when it bumps up against self-doubt, that is the time where temperance, right, which I'll show here, I'll pop it up here, and I'll show face IG folks down here. I'll put it in front of my face so it focuses there. That's when temperance starts to come into play, right? So temperance is about mixing together, blending together two different things to make a beautiful third thing, right? It's about alchemy. It's about the work that you're doing. And, unlike, some people think about this in terms of balance, but it isn't necessarily about balance, right? It's not that kind of Libra, balancing two things out. It's really about taking the energy of both of those things. In the example that I gave, it is taking both your momentum and the work that you're doing, the positive aspects of what you're doing, and mixing that together with that doubt, and recognizing that doubt that you have, it is your brain's way of trying to protect you, but it's also an important part of yourself, right? It is that energy that's trying to get you to slow down and make sure that you've thought through exactly what you're doing. So, and that's okay as long as you don't let it stop you. right? As long as you let that doubt or those thoughts that are cropping up, allow them to come in, to reflect on what's happening, what you're doing, making sure if you need to make adjustments, but then you have to keep moving, right? That's what temperance is bringing us this week with its energy. Thinking about blending all the parts of you together to make something even more amazing and beautiful. So, when we think about what's happened this year, right? And I'd love, for you to either put the chat here or, later on if you're watching this in the replay, think about what you've done this year. Now, it's easy to go back and, think about all the shit that didn't go great, right? Think about all of the maybe people who've gotten sick, maybe people that you've lost, right, from COVID and other ailments this year. And it's easy to kind of dwell in that space and sit in that space of just thinking about the negative, just thinking about the loss or the pain or the hurt. But I also want you to then, after you acknowledge that, right? We're not taking away from that. You are allowed to be sad and hurt and feel the pain and anger and frustration, but you have to push yourself past that. And yes, it's going to feel all like, oh, love and light and blah blah blah, right? But you have to, right? What choice do you have? To just dwell in the hardship or to move on to something more beautiful and constructive, right? So I want you to take a minute and think about, just like Temperance is asking us, we can easily come up with the negative shit that happened or the pain and the hurt. But now think about all the good things that have happened to you this year, right? Maybe you've made new friendships this year. Maybe you've strengthened friendships or relationships this year, right? Maybe you have cleared away things that you have grown out of, right? Things that are no longer serving you. Maybe you have come to a point where you recognize, yeah, I do have these things left. I needed these things at one point in time, but I don't need them anymore. So I can let them go, right? And how good does that feel? How light does that feel to be able to let those things go, right? From a work perspective, think about new tasks, new jobs. Maybe you started a new career. Maybe you started a brand new project within your business that is really starting to get some traction, right? Is really starting to move a little bit. Even if it's not where you want it to be yet, even if it's not all the way there, right? There's always room for growth. Think about how wonderful it is to have started this project, to have thought about something and put it into action. And now you're watching it grow, right? Every day there's something positive that you can, if you try hard enough, you can reflect on, you can focus on, right? And you have to start balancing out those things along with the shit that's going to come up that just makes you feel bad, right? Again, that's what temperance is about. Temperance is about blending those things, right? You have multiple sides to who you are. You're not just one thing. You're not just someone who's always negative, right? But you also can't always be somebody who's just love and light, right? Like nothing happens to you in the world. That's just not realistic. And I wouldn't ask that of you, right? So think about this year, if you do kind of a year in review. Yeah, again, easy stuff, hard shit. But take the time and go month by month. What happened back in January? God, it was like a lifetime ago, right? What happened in February, March, April? What have you been able to build on and create more of? What have you learned about yourself, right? One of the meditations that I like to do is about thinking about yourself, how you've grown, right? How you have recognized there's a part of you that needs to grow and change, and you have taken action towards it, right? Everything I do and teach people and how I work with people is about choice, right? Recognizing that you have a choice to show up however you want to. And if you didn't choose one path today, you can choose it tomorrow, right? You always get another choice. You always get kind of a do-over every day that you wake up, right? So again, I want you to, let me know some of the really beautiful things that have happened to you this year. I know for me, one of the big things that has really grown for me this year is not just my knowledge of knowing that I need to work together in co-creation with other people. I've sort of always known that, but taking the initiative, right, to round up some who I love and who support me. And hey, Susie Q, taking the time for me to be specific and tell those people, like, I need you more in my life. I need to work with you more. We need to do more things together. You've seen, if you've been following me for a while, you've seen me together with some friends, the magical cartographers. We've done some live events in the past, but we're going to be doing a lot of work moving forward. If you didn't see it already, there's a podcast that we just did together with KJ, who's one of the magical cartographers. On her podcast, the four of us got together and talked about belonging, right? Talked about just what I'm saying, finding people who get you, who make you better, and being proactive in working with them and being around them, right? Having people in your life who are not just there because they've always been there, right? I mean, it's nice to have stability, to have people that you know and love around, but you really have to think about the people that you want to draw towards you. You have to think about the people who are going to lift you up, who are going to push you to be a better version of yourself, right? Comfort is one thing and it's beautiful, but comfort isn't growth, right? I've been talking about energies and like earth energy, people that have a lot of earth energy in their charts and in their lives. They're looking for stability. They're looking for comfort and ease, and that's beautiful. But that's not where change comes from, right? You have to take action. You have to put yourself first. You have to decide and make some choices for yourself about what you need, how you want to show up in the world, and do something with that. And it's not always comfortable, but it doesn't have to be hard, right? It doesn't have to be tragic. Ending things, moving forward, growing, things will naturally end, but that's to make way for something really new and beautiful, right? So again, think about this temperance energy. Think about what parts of yourself do you need to merge together, right? Stop trying to hide one so that the other can shine. Allow them to talk to each other. Acknowledge all the parts of who you are and use that to create something, completely new, to create a new version of who you are and how you want to show up, right? And as always, if you need any help with that, you let me know. There's going to be some new exciting things going on next year that probably next week I will give you a little bit more information about. But even for me, growing is about changes. It is about ending. It is about understanding what's working, what's not working, and being okay with that. So let me know again what you have found so far this year that really makes you happy when you think back about having done it, when you think about, taking the initiative to have started. Let me know here. If you have any questions, I will pop let me hide this. From now till the end of the year, we will have 2-minute tarot available. So if you have a question, you can send me your question. I will pull one card for you and send you about a 2-minute video response to give you a little nudge in the right direction. If you want to work more, of course, I, can always find a way to work more with you. If it's just enough to get you moving, then wonderful, right? You got some free advice. But definitely check it out. Right now, it's only going to be available to the end of the year. So make sure you ask your questions. And as always, stay connected, find some peace, and stay magical, y'all.